While working for Brown County, we screened all children in 4K, kindergarten, first, third, and fifth grades. At middle school, it was by request. Initially, when I started there, we did screen high schoolers too by request. As the 4K programs expanded, we had to cut out somewhere, so we ended up not going to high schools anymore because of the fact that most of the time the kids that were referred to us already knew they had vision problems. They knew, or their teachers knew, and that they should have been going to the eye doctor anyway, and we could provide resources for that. Time is definitely a factor with chart screening. Chart screening takes a little more time, especially for the younger ones. Ideally, yes, every child should be screened. Every adult should be screened yearly. And if we could do that more quickly with the photorefractor, and the photorefractor would pick up a certain percentage of people, according to this, the photorefractor would pick up 58% of people according to our statistics, and this was from 2017 and 18, which was the last year that I did the vision screenings for Brown County. Perhaps followed by a mini version of a chart to pick up those cases with amblyopia or that might not otherwise be identified. It was a school-based vision screening. We had limitations of space in schools, scheduling, like you said, taking time away from classroom. Each class wouldn't take that long to screen. Depending on the number of screeners we had, we could get them done in 15-20 minutes, depending on how many staff members were there. It does require a coordinated effort and setup and tools and space, which are all in limited supply with schools. Working for Brown County, we had just shy, like I said, of like 3,000 referrals a year that we had sent, and we worked school year only. So we came up with a standard letter and an Excel spreadsheet that would auto-generate the letter to send out to them to be able to even do that. We typically would send out second letters, which got more response than the first letter. Only in severe cases did we really have time to follow up directly with parents. So time was a huge limitation there. You can do things to automate that to make it a little quicker. Right now, the population that I see that we work with have more barriers to being able to follow up, like paying for an eye exam and glasses. Having resources available to help those people is really important when you're doing the screening to ensure compliance. The population that we serve here at Casa Alba, Hispanic, may not be documented and may be new to the country, not know processes, also be scared of deportation, and we have issues with alias names, for instance. They might be working under someone else's name in order to work. They're paying taxes under that name, never are going to be able to utilize that tax money because they can't. They may have insurance through an employer, but not able to utilize the insurance either unless they give that false name. So again, having resources available would be key, I think, in following up with the clients that I work with now. I think vision screening for everyone every year is important. Eyes change from year to year. I mean, even myself, I'm getting up there in years, and my eyes have changed, and I can even tell from year to year that I need adjustments, near, far. Yeah, in the ideal world, everyone would have access to vision screening every single year. I think a good way that the photorefractors could be used is, do that first. If they fail that, then they're done. They don't have to go any further. If they pass that, then do a quick chart screening and just make sure that they can pass that before sending them on. I know with adult vision screening, their focus now is more on the interview. Like if they answer yes to certain things, they're automatically referred and you don't even have to go ahead with the chart screening. So having like an interview of certain questions. The biggest challenges or impediments involved in trying to screen more children on a regular basis would be the logistics. Where are you going to do it? Are you going to take classroom time away from schools? Who is going to do it? it does require manpower. So is it Lions Club screening? Is it volunteers? Is it professionals? I was lucky when I was at Brown that we had professionals managing the screening, and we had staff that we worked with on a regular basis. There are some intricacies to being able to screen adequately. There are some intricacies even with using the photorefractor. It might not always work quite right, and you have to be able to troubleshoot and have a little bit of training ahead of time. So finding the place to do it, making sure the schools are okay with taking away class time. In my experience, most teachers and staff members are very happy when you're there, because they want to know that the child that they're trying to teach can see, because that can pose a huge barrier. I still think back to a child that we screened in a very wealthy school. He was difficult to screen, kindergartner, had been screened in 4K, and for whatever reason the parents didn't take him in. Kindergarten, we screened him, both vision and hearing actually, and took our time, but he was not very cooperative and very difficult to screen. Determined that we really thought there was a problem and worked with the parents and got them to take him in. The next year we came back, he had both glasses and a hearing aid. Whole different kid. Just so much more relaxed and cooperative. It is really important as educators. They want to know that rule that out when there's behavior issues or concerns, because if they're not seeing, they're not learning what they should be. So screening kids can be difficult. You do have some kids that want glasses because their best friend just got glasses or their mom got glasses and they want to look like that. So chart screening to the inexperienced screener can sometimes be difficult. I always erred on the side of caution if there was any question, but you develop tricks of the trade over time and how to determine whether someone might be faking it. With a photorefractor, you can fake. If they're normal, you can fake it. But I would recommend a brief chart screening too, just to make sure that amblyopia doesn't exist. You get a sense with experience of who might be faking. When in doubt, refer, because a complete eye exam is good for anyone. I think that the Lions Club has been very dedicated in their commitment to vision screening and eye health. I think that the research project that they're proposing is very much needed, and if they could prove that the photorefractor is a cost-effective way to identify vision issues in more children quicker, that we should be able to find some way to prove that, so that it is nationally recognized as a screening tool. So I think the research that is being suggested is very worthwhile.